Hi, and welcome to the Health Begins with Mom show. I am Dorit, your host. On this podcast, I will share insights and interviews on health, parenting, and explore the question of what does it take to thrive as women, wives, and mothers. Now, let's get going with today's episode. Hey gorgeous, welcome to another episode of the Health Begins with Mom podcast. This is Dorit, your host. Today I am launching the second day of the challenge that is designed to take you from feeling sucked dry to feeling stronger, more energized, more alive, and even sexier as a woman, wife, and a mother. And I hope you will enjoy it. Today's challenge was all about the second female marker, which is within the feminine current framework. And we talked about emotions, energy, sensual intelligence, and why it matters for you as a woman, as a wife, and as a mother to understand and read the body, the language of your body, and how to make sense of it and how to cultivate a healthier relationship with your body. I walked you through a beautiful exercise that will help to get a sense and get the better idea of how different feelings and how different emotions are felt and experienced in the body. And I hope you will enjoy it. So today is building on from yesterday. So today's challenge is all about continuing tracking what you eat in a day, as well as your energy levels and how it's connected to how you eat and how you feel and your life in general and all of this good stuff. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's go. All right. We are live. Hello, Facebook, and hello, Instagram. And so if you see me flipping back and forth like this is because I am going live on two different places. So this is my Facebook page and this is my Instagram account. So this is Dorit at Health Begins with Mom, and this is at Health Begins with Mom over at the Instagram. So hello, my gorgeous ladies. I'm gonna ask you for just one quick second so that I can share this live inside of my private face, my personal page. Okay, cool. And we're gonna start in a second. For now, make sure you have a cup of water, the female daily tracking sheet, and of course a pen. Cool, I'm so excited. All right, share. Okay, so this is gonna go to my group. So Busy Moms Get Healthy. All right, so this is shared inside of there. And then the last place is Okay. So this is going to go to my group. So share and on my timeline. Okay, cool. All right. Awesome. So we are done with the sharing. I am done with the sharing. How are you, my gorgeous? Welcome to day number 2 of the 5-day challenge, which is designed to take you from feeling sucked dry to finally feeling stronger, more energized, and more alive and sexier, and like you just love life so much and you're ready to flirt with life with all your might, and you are ready to step in and become this magnetic and irresistible force of nature as a woman, as a wife, and as a mother. And so today I am super, super excited to talk to you about the second female marker, which is emotions and energy. We're going to talk about sensual energy today and why it matters for you as women. For you as a woman, you are not many women, you are one woman, to really embrace and educate yourself and understand the language of your body and the language of your senses, okay? And I'm gonna talk about that today. To me, this is amazing. Like, this is the thing, this is the information that completely changed my life. So pay close attention. This is what makes healing and health and really radical self-care so much more appealing to me as a conscious parent, as a conscious woman, as a conscious wife. As a holistic being, it just makes so much sense. And I hope you will resonate with this. So before we dive much deeper, please, can I ask you to give this video a thumbs up and maybe even drop a like so that the Facebook and the Instagram algorithms will know that this is a kick-ass content and it is in service to many, many more women and wives around the globe. So if you can do this right now, that would be amazing. And then we can start. All right. Oh, and also if you are seeing me peeking down, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I have my computer here and I will be referring to my notes. So same like yesterday. Okay, so before we get to talk about female marker number 2, which is your energy and emotions, I want to talk about how did it go today. If you can share with me, did you track your food yesterday? How did the tracking go? Did you see any abnormal gapping in between the meals? Did you start noticing any connection between how you eat and how you feel? We are going to talk much deeper, in much greater depth today about this connection. And also, how did it go with hydration? Hydration, I find that it's such an important piece of our health, and especially as menstruating women. And we will be talking about your menstrual cycle tomorrow, so day three. But today, I just wanted you to start paying attention to all those things and how all these, the 6 different female markers, how they are all related and connected to one another. So in terms of hydration, I wanted you to remember that it is your fountain of youth, really. The more liquid you get, the more supple your skin will look, the more energy you will have, the healthier bowel movements you will produce. I know it sounds weird to produce bowel movements, but it is what it is. The healthier your internal organs would be. And remember, we talked about how when you're the most important life force will first go to your most essential organs, like the heart, the liver, the kidneys, the stomach, the digestive system, right? And so the things that we want, things like, healthier skin and a slimmer body and healthier hair and, a healthy libido, all of those things in terms, like energetically speaking, are going to be kind of like secondary in terms of priority. So the more hydration, the more hydrated you are, the more energy you will have for those things that you and I want. And also, of course, the more hydrated you are, the more lubricated and juicy you will be in the bedroom. And so, thumbs up if this is what you want. I know I do. Okay, so today, like I said, we are going to climb one step higher and add on to the first female marker, which is food. And we are going to dive deeper into your energy and emotional state as a woman, wife, and mother. So hopefully by the end of today, you will be tracking what you eat. So 2 things, what you eat, as well as your levels of energy. So if we refer back to the female daily tracking sheet,
guys, if you do not have this, you must, and you want to get it, you must register for the challenge. So it is not late to join the challenge yet. Head on over to www.healthbeginswithmom.com/challenge. And once you put your name and email and you click join the challenge, you will be automatically sent an email with a link to this sheet. So I want you to print it off. So today we're day 2. So print 4 more for today and 3 for the rest of the challenge. And join us and see how this amazing tool works and how this can help you to step into your fullest potential as a woman. So on this sheet, what we are going to be doing today, we are going to be working with the inner circle over here. So this is Facebook and this is Instagram, okay? So this inner circle. So yesterday we talked about the circle, the biggest circle, and that is where you track your food. So in a 24-hour cycle, we track our food, what we eat, and we also track our energy levels. So around here, what I normally do is I record how I felt in the morning when I woke up. Did I wake up rested? Did I wake up grumpy? Did I wake up energized? Did I wake up with a good mood, not so good mood? If not a good mood, why do I think? Why do I believe that I woke up with not so good of a mood? So all of those things, all of these emotions, and of course, as we go along with the day, you want to keep track of your energy levels. So for me, I remember when I just started doing this tracking and this kind of work, I've noticed that around 4 p.m., normally, obviously, your energy drops. But then what happened was that I had very little energy for my kids. And over time, I started noticing that this is a pattern. And obviously, this is not a healthy pattern. This is not how I want to be. If as a conscious mother, as a conscious parent, I want to show up for my kids. I want to be with them. I want to go outside with them. I want to play with them. I want to, read books to them. I want to be there. And that was a very strong indication that something was off for me internally. And so that was a big kind of red flag for me that I had to pay attention to. And so see if this is also something that shows up for you as well. So yeah, in terms of tracking, this is really all you need for today. Just pay attention how you feel before you eat, after you eat, and also throughout the day if you are noticing energy changes. For example, now I'm from Canada, I'm Canadian, from Toronto, and now it's so beautiful out, and so we spend a lot of time outdoors, and so I feel naturally that my energy is higher than, for example, in the wintertime. So, there are many different reasons why our energy could be elevated or drop down, but I want you to start getting into this practice of noticing your energy and also making sense of it, right? This is information. This is not just there to confuse you, or it's just there to interrupt your life. It is there as information, and it is an important information which I do not want you to ignore. And today I'm going to give you a little training on how to work with your emotions and make the best of them in terms of radical self-care, because it's all about taking care of yourself radically. No longer, the surface level, self-care, because as busy moms, who has time for basic self-care? We are actually talking about radical self-care, meaning no matter what, these things must happen. Okay? Cool. So I'm referring back to my notes, and let me just see that I have said everything I wanted to say. Okay, so today, what we are going to start looking for are things like, how do you feel before you eat? How do you feel after you've eaten? Does your energy drop after some particular foods? For example, pay special attention to foods like bread, gluten, grains, eggs, cheese, eggs. So the highly allergenic foods, pay attention to those foods, because many times, you might not have allergies per se, but you could have food sensitivities. And just, for some reason, for whatever reason, your body could just be not wanting you to keep consuming this food, because it's just, your body, in terms of like immunity, it's weaker and it's really struggling with the digestion and breaking down and the assimilation of this food. And this kind of stuff is not going to be manifested as like an extreme severe belly ache, so that it's clear, this food is not good for me. It is going to be manifested through small things. Like, for example, I just recently had this massive allergic reaction, which is why my eyes are a little bit more swollen than usually. I've eaten an almond butter, and I've never had any problems with almonds, and then now all of a sudden I had a reaction. And so for whatever reason, my immune system dropped and I had this reaction. Another thing could be, breakouts on the skin, brittle nails. You could be starting having headaches, migraines, gas, bloating, that kind of things, that I think we kind of get used to living with. But at the end of the day, this is not healthy. This is not how we are designed to be. We just, because we don't want to change, we just kind of get into the rhythm of life and into the momentum of life, where we kind of forget that this is not normal, and we need to pay attention to those things, because the cumulative effect of all of these symptoms are the body is communicating and it's asking you to pay attention. Okay, so this is what we're doing today. We're learning how to pay attention to, what to pay attention to, and also how. Do you feel the same after eating, or significantly less energized? Do you feel heavier? Do you feel moodier? Do you feel like you need a nap after you eat? So certain foods, actually, your body might really thrive on, but also pay attention to the quantity. So I have noticed personally in my life that eggs are really good for me, especially the pasture-raised eggs. So if I eat, let's say, one egg, I feel really good. I feel energized, and I can, continue working and in creating and showing up for my life. But if I eat two, I've noticed that my energy drops significantly. And so that made me to think, like, are eggs good for me, not good for me, And then I realized, no, that it's just a matter of quantities and portion. And so, I do really well with one egg, but if I push it to 2 and 3 sometimes, it's way, way too much for me. So start paying attention to those things as well. And again, this is why it is necessary to learn the language of the body, the language of the senses. And by the way, when I say senses, I don't only mean, your 5 senses that we all know, right? The sense of the vision and smell and taste and hearing and touch. These are all, of course, necessary and beautiful, and absolutely use them. What I'm talking about is your bodily sensation, how it feels in your tummy. How do you feel in your back? Do you feel this heaviness, in the day? All of these, energetic cues and clues are important information for us as women, frankly as men as well, but here we're talking about about health and sexuality in a context of women, and so I really want you to pay attention to those things. Do you feel irritable? That kind of stuff we want to pay attention to. And then the other distinction that I want you to start paying attention to, and I spoke about this a little bit earlier, is the difference between hunger and thirst. So there is a difference, okay? And that on its own, what I found from my own life and also my clients, is that it's a complex process of self-care. I find that over time, and for those of you who are raising children, young kids, they just know, right? They know when they're thirsty, they would ask for water, or they would just reach for it. But then something happens as we grow up and become adults. We kind of forget the difference between thirst and hunger. And so today we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And by the way, I dive much deeper about this topic inside of the Feminine Current course, which I will be talking about at the end of the challenge. So stay tuned if you're interested. But today, we're kind of like, I'm giving you a taste of what it even means to live in alignment with your feminine current. And so we are building on this amazing stuff. So for me, for example, 9 out of 10 times, I'm actually thirsty and not hungry. And in general, we actually need much less food than we need water. And unfortunately, we live in a culture where we chronically overeat and not drink enough water. And when I say water, it's really important for me to add this for you guys here. Water is, what I have coming out of my tap, and probably for you too, is water. But this is not water that is good for you to drink. I mean good quality filtered water that is mineralized, that has good minerals that you need in order to, live a healthy life and have healthy chemical reactions in your body that lead you to have more energy and have, all the different chemical reactions in your body. And digestive process is such an important chemical process that requires good quality water. So I don't want you to kind of look at it lightly. When I say water, I don't mean water that comes out of plastic bottles. When I say water, I don't mean obviously soda. I don't mean that kind of stuff. I mean filtered water. I personally have the Berkey filter at my home. You could have the reverse osmosis system in your house. That kind of water, it would be considered good quality water, okay? So just wanted to make that clear. And so, like I said, this culture that we live in, it's we chronically overeat and we don't drink enough water. And as a result, if you think about it, from a bigger kind of lens, we are mostly overweight. A lot of us are inflamed, are heavy, swollen, unhealthy, and we are lacking energy. Like I said yesterday, one of my clients said this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a perfect depiction of how the majority of women feel today. And that is feeling like you are like a stuffed up sausage, right? I think we can all relate to that. Also, because of, going long with that kind of inflammation happening in the body as a result of dehydration, the body starts to manifest physical symptoms like diabetes, like kidneys and heart diseases, and then various cancers in really bad cases in female organs like breasts, the cervix, ovaries, uterus, etc., etc. So I want you to understand that, a lack of health, of sex, of desire for sex, or a low libido, it is a serious health problem. It is not just a problem of, oh, I'm not having enough fun. It is actually a real, legit health problem. And I wish you were here so I could shake you. I want you to pay attention to this. If this has been happening for you for a long period of time, this is not something to ignore. This is actually your body is giving you the gift. It's actually communicating with you. It's kind of giving you a warning. It's sending you warning signs so that you don't ignore, so that you take action and actually help yourself before God forbid it becomes a much more difficult problem to deal with. Okay, so I personally think that as women, we are kind of, what's the word to say? We are not being kind to ourselves. We're not being compassionate to ourselves. And then the question is, ladies, what are we doing with our bodies? We really need to kind of have a reframe and a change of mindset here and revere the female body more and more, and start taking care of ourselves better. Because remember, our kids are looking at us. They are seeing all of this stuff and they're learning. It's like we are programming their their little brains that this is how it looks like, and these are the things you need to be doing in order to to live and be healthy and enjoy a good, fulfilling life. So here's how hunger works. Hunger and thirst work. So the hunger, it comes from the stomach, right? So in many cases, you will feel the growl. And I think most of us do feel that. It actually even makes the sound. And so a growling stomach, the feeling of sluggish, or maybe feeling a little bit headachy, or maybe some restless, or maybe even shaky if you haven't eaten for a long time. And that's actually, if you reach to a point when you're shaky, this is not healthy. This is not, I don't want you to get to this kind of state. But all of those are signs of real, true, legit hunger. And then thirst comes from the mouth. So if you feel things like a dry mouth, a dry throat, a dry esophagus, right? So when you have that relationship with your body, you actually can kind of like close your eyes, tune in, and find where in your body do you feel this kind of misalignment, right? Which organ in your body is calling out for more attention. So by the way, right now I do feel dry in the throat. So I'm gonna take a sip of water. So you know that I actually practice what I preach. And that's it. And so these are the two distinctions at a very, very basic level for me to explain. And many times, obviously, we confuse the two, and instead of drinking, we eat. So as a human being, we actually don't need so much food. Yesterday when I was talking about making sure that as a woman you don't have gaps longer than 2 to 3 hours, yes, that's fine. You need to eat, but when I say that you need to eat, I don't mean that you need to have this huge quantity, right? That we are, especially here in North America, that we're used to. So let me give you an example. So you know how when you go to a restaurant, you get even the portions. I mean, if you look at it historically, the portions at restaurants really grew. Like, they have exploded by at least 80%. So if you are, I'm sure you have some plates at home. So the kind of the standard size would be, the medium size, and then the larger size. So the medium size would be for things like fish and salads and kind of like appetizers. And then the bigger one is going to be for the main meal, right? For the main course. So meats and the carbs and maybe sauteed vegetables and that kind of stuff. And so what happens is that we kind of think in our brain that the bigger size of the plate is the normal size of a meal that we should be having at every time that we eat, excluding obviously snacks. And that is just not true. Actually, the majority of us would do just fine eating only from the mid-sized plate. And on its own, that little thing is so hard to do. Like, I dare you, try it, and you will see if there's like something that has to shift in terms of like mindset. It's almost like your brain thinks that this is too little for you. But I want you to actually push yourself and see that when you eat smaller portions more, consistently throughout the day, your energy will actually be higher and it will be sustained. And that is how we are getting into things like, feeling stronger and more energized and feeling like we do have the passion and the desire and the energy for things like sex. Okay, so I want you to start making this distinction. The hunger comes from the belly, from the stomach, and the thirst comes from from the mouth, from the throat, and the esophagus. Okay, and yes, just looking here. Okay, cool. So let's talk about why is this important to make connections between what you eat and how you feel. So, especially for those of you who are conscious parents and love reading about parenting and psychology and emotional health and emotional intelligence, you know that there is something like emotional intelligence, emotional mastery out there in the world, right? It's so important for our children, for first of all, for ourselves to learn, and also to educate our children that emotions are important. And basically, like, the basic definition of emotional intelligence is the ability or the skill to know to name your feelings. Okay, so you're angry, you're sad, you're confused, you're frustrated, you're happy, you're excited, you're all of those things. These are feelings, and the ability and the skill of knowing to match the right word with the right feeling, with that particular feeling, is a skill. It's definitely a skill. I'm still learning this skill myself. So that is on its own super, super important, that I get to talk more about inside of the Feminine Current course. I actually give you a tool that I myself use at home with my kids and with my husband. So that is the skill of knowing to name your feelings. But then there is another skill that is super important for our work together, and that is sensual intelligence. So sensual intelligence is fairly new in terms of like languaging. If you Google sensual intelligence, you are not going to find too many authors, speakers, experts talk about it. There are maybe a few books on this topic out there, but I have found that working with the senses and understanding the senses, embracing the senses, really helps you to feel more connected to who you are as a human being and as a woman. And especially for women who went through, if you went through childbirth, I mean, what more than that can be a sensual experience, growing the baby and then laboring it, whether it's through C-section or through vaginal delivery. This is like the most significant bodily experience you could ever have, and it helps you to connect with your body on a very deep level. And so this is how I believe that you take control of your health instead of waiting for the disease to hit you. Let's just say it this way, right? And really, I didn't explain what sensual intelligence is. So if emotional intelligence is the ability to name feelings, sensual intelligence is the ability to name how your body feels. Okay, so there is a bit of a difference here, a bit of a distinction. And like I said, this is the tool that I am gifting you. And it's not really I am. The God, the creator gave you this tool. It gave it to you, it gave it to me. I'm just kind of illuminating your world, and I'm educating you, and I'm giving you this wisdom back, this lost wisdom. This is how you will catch ailments when they are still infantile instead of when it's way too late for intervention. This is how you shift from feeling like your body is betraying you, and instead see that it was you all along who was betraying it. And this is also how to cultivate a healthier relationship with your body. This is how you stop body dysmorphia, which is body hatred, the hatred of your body, not liking your body, not liking the size of you, really not hating to see yourself in the mirror, all that kind of stuff. It really it's an indicator that you're lacking some of that sensual intelligence. And of course, also, it helps you to stop unnecessary drama in your life, because when you are educated on those things, you're very quick to pinpoint them and then, deal with them, as opposed to lingering and, and complaining about it and making it bigger than it actually is. That is what I mean when I say you become this fierce force of nature that doesn't waste time on nonsense, right? Ladies, I cannot tell you, like, if I could tell you, if I could summarize the two biggest reasons why women suffer in this world, especially when it comes to their health, it is body dysmorphia and drama, being drawn to drama. If these two things, if we can just help women heal those two things, I think the world will completely look different. Okay? So like I said, enough with wasting, your precious life and energy on stupid things. Can I say stupid on Facebook? Yes, I think I can. Okay, so why? Let's talk about why. Now you know the what. Now let's talk about why. Why do you need to cultivate a sensual intelligence? So first of all, we're here because you want to improve your sex life, right? You want more sex. So many women tell me, Dorit, I'm really concerned that I don't even want it. And so the problem is that I want it, right? Like I used to in the past. So right there, it is it's a signal for me that there is something coming from their higher self or from their soul or from the body that needs attention. And so, I want you to not ignore this. I also know that this is what your partner wants, right? Your partner, the more you have, the better relationship you have with your body, the better you would know what you need and how to pleasure it, right? And how to find pleasure in it. And then you can use that to connect with your partner better, because he will benefit so much from you guiding him and telling him what makes you feel good, because he wants to make you feel good. He wants you to experience pleasure. He wants to be the one who helps you to climax and orgasm and all those things and feel good in your body. But if you are not connected to yourself in this way, girl, it's really difficult to do. Really difficult to do. And even, in my opinion, it's impossible, right? Because in order to have that kind of connection, that kind of physical, intimate connection, you need your body. You need your body. So we need to start cultivating that kind of relationship with your body. Okay? So, like I said, what you really, really, really want, maybe it's not sex, but what you really want in the language of women, in the language of the feminine, is you want to feel more connected and more intimate with yourself and also with your partner. So, and here's the question: how can you develop that intimacy that you crave when you are dissociated from your own body? It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So you need to have a healthy relationship with your body so that you can heal pain, so that you can feel more pleasure and love, so that you can have a fully embodied spiritual life, so you can have greater joy, so you can have more empathy, more confidence. All of those things, they happen inside of this, experience of you. It is a human experience. I've heard this beautiful quote that as humans, we're not humans having a spiritual experience. We are actually spirits having a human experience. And so as spirits having a human experience, we are in a body, right? That is very physical, and it is a very powerful tool that I want you to learn how to use so that you can, reach your fullest potential as this amazing, magnificent being that you were designed and created to be. So, have you ever felt, and be really honest with yourself here, have you ever felt like you have lost touch with your own body? As a female desire coach, I hear that all the time. Women tell me, Dorit, I feel numb. I don't feel myself. I don't feel good. I don't feel bad. I'm blah. Like I'm numb. It's like this level of apathy that happens over time due to various reasons. So let's walk through some examples. Maybe you have pain in your lower back or neck, but you could not remember that you did anything that might have caused it. Maybe you feel weird or like something is off with your body when you go to the doctor, and then the doctor in many cases says, when they can't find something that is, like a red alert or something that actually requires, medical intervention, they would say, woman, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Go home. It's all in your head. Or maybe you've gained weight without really noticing, and until you haven't noticed the increase and how much you grew until your clothes no longer fit. And so, these, along other physical and mental symptoms like headaches, digestive troubles, depressive symptoms, lethargic feelings, aching joints, frequent colds and flus, all of these are particularly annoying, let's put it this way, because they appear to creep on you without prior warning, right? Or at least that's how it seems. And this is where women often tell me that they feel betrayed by their own bodies. And what's interesting that happens in the work that I do with women is that over time they're realizing that it is not their body that betrayed them. It's that they themselves didn't know how to take care of their bodies. And so in fact, it was them who were betraying the body. Okay? And so the truth is that it's not true that symptoms just creep on you without prior warning. The truth is that symptoms, they take time to manifest. And the reason for your pain and or the discomfort is due to either two things. Number one is ignoring the earlier warning signs, right? So we talked about the fact that you need to know how to sense those warning signals. And then two is, in worst cases, not being aware of them at all, right? So those are the things that happen over a long period of time in many cases. And so whenever you feel like, when you have a symptom or you have a signal that comes from the body, whatever it is, it could be a skin problem, it could be a vision problem, it could be a hair issue, it could be a weight issue, it could be a hormonal issue, a thyroid problem, diabetes, whatever it is a signal of the body. This is the way of your body to communicate with you, and your body needs it needs you to listen, to pay attention, because it wants to help you. All of this is done because the body wants to help you. It wants to be of service to you. But if you're ignoring it, then it's not going to happen. It's like, let's take the example of parenting. Let's say your child comes to you and like, mommy, my teacher is mean to me. Oh, leave me alone. Nothing. It's fine. You ignore it. And then eventually at the end of the year, something really big happens and you're like, where the heck did this come from? Like, what the heck is going on? Why didn't you tell me throughout the year? And your daughter's like, no, mom, I did. You just didn't listen, right? So it's kind of that kind of dynamic between you and your body as well. So pay attention to the signals of your body. So I want to walk you through an exercise to help you start feeling and start distinguishing between the different sensations that come through your body. Okay, so in general, when it comes to naming bodily sensations, it really all trickles down to two sensations. So your feelings are either going to be expansive or they're going to be contractive. Okay, so let's do this quick exercise together so it makes more sense to you. So close your eyes. All right, and I want you to start thinking or feeling joy. Okay? Just tell me, how does joy feel in your body? How does beauty, nature, connection, love, how does all these things feel in your body? just stay quiet with yourself for just a couple of seconds and just come up with, see how it feels in the body. It could be, you may be feeling some radiating energy that is coming from the inside outwardly. Maybe you feel pulsation, maybe you feel a circle, maybe you feel it in a color, whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's going to be different for each and every one of us. Okay? But the point is, so you can open your eyes, the point here to remember is that these feelings, they produce expansive feeling, right? So whenever you feel love, connection, joy, it's usually you feel like your body is expanding. It's almost like you can take a deeper breath when you're feeling these kind of emotions. Okay, so this is how an expansive feeling would look like. Now close your eyes again. Now what I want you to start imagining and thinking and experiencing is emotions like fear and jealousy and lack and scarcity, resistance. So sit with it for a couple of seconds and see how these feelings feel in your body. So in many cases, these feelings, you can open your eyes, these feelings, they produce contractive feelings. So it's almost like you're closing down. It's almost like it's hard for you to inhale, and then the exhales are really short. That would signify contractive feelings and emotions. And you need to know the difference between both so that you can use your body cues as your internal guidance system, which is also known as intuition. And intuition is power that is the gift of the feminine. And you need to know this stuff. You need to be able to embrace those tools that are given to you by your creator so that you can create this amazing life as a woman, this amazing relationship with your children, this amazing relationship, this amazing connection and intimacy with your partner. All of this is super important. Intuition is what is going to help you to get there, right? In a way that actually feels aligned to you. So, and of course, we get to talk much, much, much more about intuition and about this concept of the feminine energy and the divine feminine inside of the Feminine Current course, which I will invite you into very, very soon. So if you do want to learn more about this, just know that you don't have to read like thousands of books and watch thousands of other documentaries. It is all readily available for you. All you need to do is just to say yes. And I want you in that course. I want you to learn and educate yourself and then use this information, use this knowledge, this wisdom, and create this amazing life for yourself that you actually love to live. Okay? Okay, let's talk a little bit about some examples of emotions and energy. So let's say you can say inside of the female tracking sheet, the things that I want you to be writing are things like, today I feel content, today I feel peaceful, I feel energetic, I feel powerful, I feel aggressive, I feel distant, I feel cynical, I feel impatient with the kids, I feel snappier than yesterday. All those kind of things, I want you to start writing them down inside of the inner circle here. You can also write things like, this food hurts my tummy. It makes me feel sluggish. I feel like I need a nap after I eat cheese, after I eat bread, after I eat meat, eggs, etc., etc. Okay? And yeah, if you feel swollen, if you feel inflamed, let's say a couple of hours after you've eaten something really salty, let's say you've had some salted fish, what's it called, lax, and a couple hours later you're noticing your fingers are really like they're just larger than they usually are. Maybe you have some swelling around your eyes, maybe you have some itching in your throat. All these things are signals, and I don't want you to ignore them. So start writing them down and be together inside, maybe, you know, in this challenge together. Let me know what are the insights that are coming up for you, so that I can help you make sense of them. And then if you want to take this work a little bit deeper to the next step, you can always join the Feminine Current course. Okay. And like I said, this is, you know, learning this is power. It's very powerful. Is it easy? Probably not. Is it simple? Yes. But like with anything, you know, it is a practice. It's a practice of slowing down and actually paying attention. It's like listening to this child. In order to hear what she has to say, you need to literally stop and sit down and really pay attention to what is going on and hearing the entire story, so that you can, you know, take measures and actually help resolve the situation. Okay? And like I said, radical self-care, it involves being mindful and attentive as opposed to doing things robotically. So robotically, masculine, I think you and I have done it. We've tried it. It didn't work. And so we're ready to do things that actually feel more sustainable and more nurturing to our body, mind and soul. And you will see through this process that eating is a very intuitive process, and I never want you to stick to like an eating dogma or an eating style. So drop the idea of I follow the vegan diet, I follow the paleo diet, or I follow the keto diet. Because whenever you subscribe yourself to dogmas like these, what you're doing essentially is kind of, you know, ignoring your body's needs. What if, let's say, throughout, following the dogma of the keto diet, what if all of a sudden you feel like you crave grains? What are you gonna do? You're just gonna ignore it? Listen, if you actually have health issues and you are very close to, to diabetes, or maybe cancer, or maybe really severe health issues, yes, by all means, in this situation, you do need to follow, dogmas. But in a regular state, just because you want to fit into that black dress next month for next month's wedding, to ignore your body's cues, it is not going to help you long term. It's actually going to bring you to a state of yo-yo dieting and constantly being in this war with your body. And that's where you are going to tell me, Dorit, I feel like my body is constantly betraying me. I feel like it's constantly letting me down. No matter what I try, it never works. It never works. In reality, it is that you are not paying attention to your body's cues. And so this is what we are doing in today's challenge, in day 2 of the challenge. I want you to start cultivating that kind of a relationship with your body. Okay? So for now, here's what I want you to do. Step number 1, I want you to start paying attention to your emotions, to your energy, and your feelings. And you start identifying, are they expansive feelings or contractive? And then step number 2, begin to find the right language for these feelings. Are they, is it sluggishness? Is it low energy? Is it that you feel like you need to nap? Is it that you feel like you are irritable? Do you feel energetic? Do you feel jumpy? Do you feel light? So all of these things, I want you to start putting, matching those sensations with words, with language. Step number 3, I want you to match your feelings with your eating behavior. So let's say I felt sluggish after eating cheese, or sluggish or relatively lower energy after eating bread or eating a bagel, okay? And then step number 4 is asking, what is tuning into what your body is asking you to do. What does it need you to pay attention to? So in this example, it would be, it's either that my body needs less bread. So for next time, instead of eating the whole bagel, try just half. Or that altogether, it's better for me to avoid bread and to avoid bagel, and maybe instead try wraps, or maybe a whole grain pita, or different substitutes for bread. Okay. If, by the way, you need some help with naming your feelings, there is a really great resource that I can share with you. It is called the Feelings Circle. So you can Google that. It's called the Feelings Circle. And it's a great tool. I actually recommend for you to print it off and hang it in the kitchen where the entire family has access to it. And this is how you can teach your kids. This is how you can teach them emotional mastery. This is you can use the languaging in the circle to communicate better with your husband, and just in general to become a better communicator. Communication is what makes us different than animals, right? And so the better at it you and I become, the easier it would be for us to actually get our needs met and get what we want out of life. Right? We are human beings, but we're also human feelings. So do not ignore your feelings. They are there for a reason. So that's it. This is what I have for day number 2. So remember, today you will be tracking your food as well as your feelings and your emotions and your levels of energy. By the way, for those of you who are just joining and you really are curious about this sheet, this is called the Female Daily Tracking Sheet. And this is the framework behind the Feminine Current course that I've created. And this is my entire work is based on that one tool, which is super helpful for women to start taking better care of themselves and reclaiming their passion, desire, sense of aliveness, sense of flirting with life, and actually wanting and getting more sex. So if you enjoyed this video, can you please make sure to share it? You can share it directly from my Facebook group. If you're watching this from my Facebook group, The Busy Moms Get Healthy, unless you're sharing it with somebody who is actually a member of the group, you won't be able to share it. But you can always go to my Facebook page, so Dorit at Health Begins with Mom, and share the video from there. This way it will be open for everybody and anybody. And I think that would be a great way to give another mama in your life this amazing tool, this amazing reframe of how to take care of yourself. I think that is a beautiful gift, and that is how radical self-care actually happens. It doesn't happen in complaining. It doesn't happen in feeling small and in feeling like you are less than, and what's wrong with me, and why is my body like this, and why does it betray me. It actually happens in that place of taking back control and ownership, and starting to take action that is actually nourishing for you and for your body. Okay? Tomorrow we will meet again, and we will be talking about female marker number 3. So tomorrow we will get into this area of the female daily tracking sheet, which is where we're going to be talking about your menstrual cycle, the wisdom of your menstrual cycle. Super excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to kind of keep building on. I will tell you more about the foods that you need to be eating for when you are in your cycle. So no matter where you are in your cycle, I will address all 4 phases, so that no matter where you are on your cycle, you will have some ideas. And that's it. I hope you're excited just as much as I am. Please let me know if you have any questions at any point. You can DM me, you can send me a private message through Facebook, you can send me emails. This week, I am all yours. I want you to succeed. I actually want you to practice this. I want you to test this out and see that this tool is not only it's insightful and helpful, it is life-changing. and I want you to have it. All right, I love you so, so much, and I'm sending you off with much love and many blessings, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Health Begins with Mom show. I love hearing from you, so please post your comments and questions over at healthbeginswithmom.com/podcast. If you love the show, please share it on social media and in your real life with other moms who might enjoy this content. And if you have a burning question or topic you'd like me to hit on the show, just drop me a line at Dorit at healthbeginswithmom.com. And if you love this show and really want to support it, please go to iTunes, write a review, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Much love and many blessings.